So I'll be talking about Christians in the online world. So this would be my outline. Medyo madami, but I hope you would just bear with me also. Yan. So, gusto ko lang i-chat nyo sa chat box, no? Ito yung mga sikat na social media platform. So, what's your favorite social media platform? Mine is Facebook and YouTube. Kayo, guys. Nakita ko ba yun? Ayan. Let's see. YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, IG. Oo nga, may ibang, oops. Okay. IG. Maraming IG, no? Ayan. Thank you. Yun. So, I would talk about first yung impact ng social media, no? A brief history, nagsimula yung social media, 1840s pa lang, yung Morse code, that was an attempt para mag-communicate socially. But 1997 was a definitive start. Yung 6 degrees was established. Pwede ka mag-create ng profile and friend a person. And then, noong 1999 was blogs. I have this live journal. So you could do private or public na blog. And then, sinong nakaabot ng Friendster dito? Achieve.
Ako.
Ayan, Mia. Di ba? Yung pa-request, pa-testimonial, di ba? Sobrang gusto ko yun. Parang din-design natin para yung page natin na maganda. And then, LinkedIn came noong 2003, di ba? In here, we could put up our resumes and then job offers ng companies are seen also dito. 2004, nag-start na yung Gmail and then Facebook. 2005, pwede tayo mag-YouTube, manood ng movies, ng songs, no? 2006 came MySpace. 2010 came Twitter. Wala masyado nag-post ng Twitter, no? Pero 750 tweets per second siya ngayon, no? 2011 was Snapchat, and then came 2013 ng Vine, where short videos are being shown. 2014 was Instagrams, Insta ads. Tapos 2015, di ko to alam kasi hindi ako Twitter, pero they show daw mga Twitter updates regarding this astronaut who lives for a year sa space. No? And then come 2018 was the advent of virtual reality and pag-start ng confronting fake news sa social media. Yun. So, this is like an ordinary day for a usual na internet user. Kahit tayo, no? Pagising, no? Minsan di pa feel bumangon, Spotify muna, nood muna tayo isang episode, or scroll sa Facebook or IG. And then, okay, kailangan na mag-online classes via Zoom or via modules. And then, we form GCs for the projects, for the group works. And then, we video call our friends nearby or malayo. And then, spiritually rin, di ba? Meron ng mga Bible app and yung SSP na service, di ba? Nasa YouTube na rin siya. And fitness, exercises, kung fitness buff tayo or nagtitry. So, ang dami-daming positive impact ng social media. First, education, di ba? Nagagamit siya platform for classes. And also, alam na natin, di ba? Online shopping, mga Shopee, Lazada, Facebook Marketplace, it is a source of employment. Pag demotivated tayo, di ba, sa search lang tayo ng mga, ano ba yun? Mga hugot, mga TED Talks, Jay Shetty, di ba? It is a place where we find our tribe, even ito, di ba, yung Joy Fellowship, no? A sense of connection to people all over the world. It helps spread the gospel kasi itong fellowship, it could be accessible, basta mabigay lang yung link, di ba, all over the world, no? And ang dami ng online services, Christian Facebook pages, Christian hugots, no? It helps sa research sa school and work. It helps give positive digital footprint. So, nasa-search na tayo yung resumes natin. It keeps us updated sa current events. Helps create social awareness. Sobrang daming mga foundations and even health na advocacies who have earned millions of dollars through Facebook advertising. Siyempre, showcase of talents, mga vloggers, mga It Really Hurts sa TikTok, ng ang dami-dami, di ba? And many interests natin pwede natin ma-showcase sa social media. And personally, ako, finding a network for a cause kasi recently na happy din ako because burdened ako sa homeless. And then, suddenly may nakausap lang. Facebook lang lahat, no? And di kami magkakakilala. And then, some Christians naman yung iba, no? I think most are Christians. And then, nag-start kami to go sa Quezon City Memorial Circle to minister dun sa mga homeless doon until we conducted na Bible studies there and sources of livelihood. And then now na pinapaalis sa Quezon City Memorial Circle, we are able to find a place for rent sa Caloocan for them. So, ang ganda. Akala ko parang ang hirap naman mag-connect with people or ang big ng task. Pero social media made it possible, no? And then sharing of information. And syempre, relationships, di ba? It's not official until it's FB official, no? Job skills. And syempre, tinuturo natin yung mga elders natin how to, yung mga not so techy, di ba? Paano gumamit ng ganito, paano mag-YouTube. We stay in touch with people close and far away. We use it for teleconsult, business matters or health matters. And pag bored tayo, diba, we just pull up our phones. And it helps foster empathy because we see the plights of rich and poor alike. No? And then, online banking, pambayad ng mga shinap natin. GCash, di ba? Turuan sila. GCash, ano pa, mga online video, ganyan. Reserved sa appointments natin, sa Airbnb natin. So, ang dami niyang use. Very relevant and convenient. Pero equally, madami is the negative impact din ng social media. So, here are some, no? These are research-based. Internet addiction. Actually, sa ibang bansa, meron ng internet rehab, no, na areas kung saan people who have addiction, bawal muna sila mag-internet kasi it really affected their relationships, their work, their studies, no? And research showed na lower daw yung QPI, GWA, o GPA ng people with increased internet use ng 0.08. So, naku, baka hindi ka maka-DL. So, increases feelings of loneliness. It doubles the risk of, it predisposes one to depression and anxiety. And if meron ng clinical depression, it also parang predisposes to doubles the risk of another depressive episode. It encourages jealousy and comparison, no? And syempre, di ba, minsan kumuha tayo ng validation. Ako, ang dami na nag-like sa akin, di ba? Or, minsan feel natin, I have a patient na sobra siya nag-breakdown pag konti lang yung views niya, ganyan, konti lang yung likes niya, feel niya it is a definition of him as being hindi desirable, no? So, misplace yung priorities natin. Kala natin, di ba, when people like, hindi naman nila iniisip buong day yung status natin pero sa atin, ang laki-laking bagay nun. Reduce desire for physical activities, we become insecure, lessen memory and attention span, we become isolated from face-to-face relationships. Sometimes we engage in self-pity, self-loathing, kasi why am I not more like him or her, no? Increased irritability and aggression. FOMO, alam niyo ba to guys? So, fear of missing out. And we become too self-involved or absorbed na dapat perfect yung picture ko, yung page ko, no? Yung filter ko, sobrang dapat on point. Ganyan. Decreased sleep, an area for child and human trafficking and pornography. And syempre, once we post, no, it's there forever. And syempre, yung minsan, di ba, yung location issue, di ba, blank check-in at ganyan. So, it could be a threat to our safety and have stalking risks and hacking and data stealing. And sometimes we overshare sa social media more than we would want sa personal conversations. Cyberbullying, sometimes sa iba, when they're so sad or angry, it's just, we don't want to face it. We just use social media as our security blanket. It distracts us from facing our actual problems. It lessens our time for self-reflection, even communion with Him, no? It is also related to a lessened sense of well-being and health problems. Actually, may nakitang study na cause siya ng heightened chronic stress and also increases the risk for upper respiratory infection kasi nga mas bumababa ang immune system. So, double-edged sword talaga yung social media. So, I'm gonna touch a bit lang sa cyberbullying, no? So, cyberbullying is a bullying that occurs in technology and social media, no? Pwedeng verbal, hinaharas ka, pinagkakaisahan ka, binubully ka, or threaten ka, relational aggression, which means sinisira yung reputation mo or relationship mo with other people. Property damage may mean your information or stuff about you are modified, yung info about you, or disseminated kahit ayaw mo, or taken without your consent. Rising yung case niya ngayon, and since 2003, there have been 41 suicides from cyberbullying, and most of it are youths. So what do we do when we are bullied? So first, we speak out and communicate using non-violent communication. So ito, merong format ng head, ay ng person, no? May head, may heart, may stomach, or feet. So yun, we could use either of them, no? Pwede natin i-personal message natin yung tao na, I observed that when you said this, ganyan-ganyan. Or, I felt insulted when you did this. No? Puro I statements yung ina-encourage din. Or, when this happened, I would have needed that you stop ganyan-ganyan. Or, I would appreciate if you would refrain from doing this to me. So, any kind of statements na I statements, no, that expresses our need and our requests and our feelings. So, also, we have to choose our battles no, online. Hindi lahat papatulan natin, hindi tayo patola, no? And we should recognize and parang prioritize our safety first. So, kung talagang hateful or harmful, it's wise to keep a copy of the message, no? And then, also the hyperlink or the URL, no? So that may evidence ka. We could block, we could unfriend or unfollow for our mental health din. We could take an online vacation, not just when we are cyberbullied, but when we feel like we are very loaded with social media info, sobrang hirap, no? Kasi minsan nakaka-info overload din siya and emotional overload. So we take an online vacation, and kung may nag-harass sa atin sa phone natin o sa account natin, we could deactivate or we could switch another phone number, pero have someone to monitor yung number na yun kung meron pang frequent na bullying or attacks, no? We could report their accounts, no? And we could seek legal advice and professional advice if necessary. So, ano lang to, you could screenshot. Ito yung mga pwede nating i-referan if we are experiencing cyberbullying. And ito yung mga laws applicable to cyberbullying. Meron ng, consequences like monetary, 5,000 to 50K, or even imprisonment. And we could refer to like guidance counselor or HR, kung ang bullying is someone from the workplace or our school. So, yun. Also, being in social media, we are exposed, no, to the injustice that is happening, especially sa country natin. Ang dami, di ba? Nakita natin siya more than ever. So, these are some of the, siguro current events, no, yung rise of fake news, di ba? Yung, minsan mga government officials natin, like saying na, kung ano mangyari, nasa kamay na po natin, di na government yung accountable, or yung PhilHealth, pocketed 15 billion worth of funds, no? Yung Commission of Human Rights na 1,000 pesos lang yung naging budget, no, for it. And then many extrajudicial killings secondary to being tagged as a drug user, like si Kian de los Santos. And during the pandemic, di ba, the jeepney drivers natin lost employment and were reduced to just begging. So, ang dami pa, ABS-CBN shutdown, anti-terror law, celebrities being red tagged as terrorists and being threatened, or the homeless being shunned out of shelters and just given ayuda and parang left to their own. So, ang daming mga bagay na nakakonfront tayo sa social media. And it is also worthwhile to ask, what is God's heart towards these things? No? First, no, I would hindi ako exempt dito. Pag nakikita ko yun sometimes, minsan gusto ko na lang wag tumingin, parang ganon. Kasi parang, what could I do about it? Ang negative naman, ganyan. So, usual stance natin, I must not complain or post negatively. I will pray for the government authorities. I will pray for God to raise up godly Christian leaders. I will continue with meeting with my group, discipling, and I should not complain. I should not show anger. I should submit to authorities. This is well and good, no? Alam natin na praying sobrang important and gathering together, lalo na ngayong pandemic, sobrang big source of support, no? But I would also like to offer show rin, no, sa mga some of the verses, actually madami, but I just click on some to show rin ano ba yung heart ni God, no? How verses that may reflect His heart for justice. With this, tatawagin ko muna okay lang ba si Monica? Can you read Proverbs 31:9?
Okay.
Yay,
Proverbs
thanks.
31:9. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and defend the rights of the afflicted and needy.
Okay, thank you. So, dito, parang it says na we should not be silent, no? Parang there is an occasion to open and to speak out against afflicted, against needy, against unrighteousness, no? Sige, Monica, can you tag anyone to read the next verse? Any Joy member?
Sige.
Yung friend.
An na lang. Anting.
Anting. Paging Anting. Sige. Can you read Zechariah 9 verse 10?
Zechariah 9:10. Who stands through justice and practice kindness and compassion each to his brother, and do not oppress the widow or the orphan, the stranger or the poor, and do not prevent evil in your heart against one another.
So, thank you, Anne, Kristen. Sige. So, dito, it encourages us to do justly, no? And while pursuing this, to do it with kindness and compassion. Sige, Kristen, can you tag someone to read the next verse naman?
Si Ahya.
Si Ahya. Sige, Ahya, can you read Proverbs 29 verse 7?
Proverbs 29:7. The righteous are concerned for the rights of the poor. The wicked does not understand such concern.
Okay. So, being righteous, hindi lang siya inward, no? I mean, meron talagang place for, syempre, for our time with God, for praying, for personal quiet time, Bible reading, and devotion. But also, it also demands for us to not turn a blind eye, but to be concerned for the rights of the poor and the needy and the marginalized. No? So, yun yung righteousness din for God. So, next. Sige. Si Lance, last na. Pwede ka mag-tag din ng iba to read Isaiah 1:17.
Si Marion.
Okay, thank you. Sige, Marion. Ano ba?
Okay, Isaiah 1:17. Learn to do good, seek justice, reprove the ruthless, defend the orphan, plead for the widow.
Okay, thanks Marion. So yun, it says learn to do good. So hindi siya natural sa atin to do this, no? Parang sometimes it requires us to be out of our comfort zone to do these things. Nandito ba sila, Lynn?
Yes, I'm here.
Yay! Okay.
James 2:16-17. If one of you says to them, "Go in peace," keep warm and well fed, but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead.
Thank you, Lalene. So, this verse emphasizes na our faith must fuel also good works and physical na action. No? Sige, Lalene, tag ka na rin na isa for the last one.
Si Abitsi na lang.
Hey, Abitsi. Thank you.
Ayan, di ko mahanap yung unmute. Matthew 25:40. Truly I say to you, to the extent that you did it to one of these brothers of mine, even to the least of them, you did it for me. To me pala.
It's alright. Okay. So, itong verse na to, di ba, it was sa Matthew 25, yung last days na sineseparate na yung goat and sheep. And then, sabi ni God, thank you because when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I was a stranger, you invited me in. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was sick, you cared for me. When I was in prison, you visited me. And then, sabi ng iba, shucks, God, never kita nakitang ganun, di ba? Pero sabi niya, if you do it to one of these brothers of mine, to the least of them, you did it to me. So, God really values, no, other people, lalo na people um, who have lesser rights or more in need, no. So yun. So how should we respond? Parang knowing or reading a glimpse of God's heart for justice, no, and for the oppressed and for those who are um, parang natatapakan, ganyan. So, can we all read this? This is a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. So, ano siya, Christian siya na naging famous din, no? Naging activist din siya actually. Sige, pabasa. 1, 2, 3. Injustice anywhere
The threat
It's a threat to the justice everywhere.
whatever
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 affects
affects
one
one
directly
directly
affects all indirectly.
Indirectly.
Life's
Life's
most
most
persistent
persistent and
persistent
urgent
and urgent
question
question.
is
What are you doing
for others.
Time is always
Time is
right
always right to
to
do
do
what's right.
what's right.
Thank you. So, ang tanong niya, what are you doing for others? So, what is the best thing that we can do? Syempre, first is we introduce them to Christ, no? But also, no, kasama rin dun is we address their whatever needs they have, no? Physical, emotional. Kasi that's also part of loving them for Jesus, no? Yan. So, itong drawing na to, ay, hindi pala drawing, painting ni Vincent van Gogh of the Good Samaritan. If you can see, no, yung Samaritan yung naka-orange na robe and then the Jew na wounded. So, the Samaritan is face-to-face, no, body-to-body contact with the Jew, no? And yung dead weight ng Jew, pasan niya as he lifts this guy sa donkey niya. So similarly, acts of kindness or mercy and compassion may cost us dearly and require great strength and determination. But, mercy and compassion are who we truly and most deeply are, but often needs dusting off. So, yun yung desire din niya sa atin to act with mercy and compassion. And also, this verse from Micah 6:8, no, it says, "What does the Lord require of you? To do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God." So what is doing justice, no? It's about doing what it takes so that His will is done on earth as it is in heaven. Di ba yun yung model prayer, no? And yun talaga yung desire ni God, no? And it also involves reclaiming, rebuilding, and nurturing, and doing what it takes, no, for us to achieve wholeness, no? Hindi lang tayo, but also other people and all of God's creation. Next, no, is to love mercy, to show kindness and compassion to other people, no matter how other they may look like, no, or how different their ideologies may be like, and no matter the context or the platform, social media man or real world. And to walk humbly with our God. So, being consistent, no, hindi pwedeng humble tayo kay God pero prideful tayo sa iba na, I am self-righteous kasi close ako kay God, or sobra naman yung good works natin pero yung internal na relationship natin sa Kanya neglected. No? So it's consistency in both our personal and our expressed faith. So here are 4 important and also, I believe, biblical responses to injustice. No? First one is lament. No? It's a passionate expression of grief. It's feeling very bad, no? And it's maraming ganitong occasions din sa Bible, like si Nehemiah, si Jesus, no? Weeping, or yung time na sabi niya, "Jerusalem, how often I would have want to gather you, but you're not willing." So lament is an appropriate and siguro forgotten response, no, towards injustices. Kasi we have to ask din siguro yung heart ni God towards these things that are happening. And also, next is righteous indignation. So it means it's a powerful emotion. It could be anger, no? And yun, sometimes anger is not necessarily sinful. Di ba meron ng verse na, "Be angry and do not sin." Because sometimes the anger propels us to act, no? And to speak out na, "Hey, this is not right anymore." And sometimes that's needed, no? Even sa leaders, political or religious, di ba? Even si Jesus, si Paul, no? Like di ba there was once an occurrence where Jesus overturned the table sa temple because he said na, you've turned my temple into a den of thieves when it should be a house of prayer. No? And then this is a quote by Bonhoeffer. There's no such a thing as a false composure, which is quite unchristian. So we should be transparent and we should also adapt his heart. No, if nasasaktan si God kapag nakita niya na inaapi yung ibang tao, dapat meron din tayo ganong indignation. No? And then next is faithful waiting. So we wait in faith for God, no, and know that in our waiting for His redemption, nandun din siya, and that His current things do not have the final say. Kasi, di ba, at in the fullness of time, God's justice, God's healing, it will prevail. Pero, hindi lang enough na we wait, but we also start living differently. So, we do what we can, no, to effect change in this current world, to bring justice, to bring His wholeness, to let His will be done here on earth as it is in heaven. Yeah. So some of the things that we could do, we could learn about certain issues na close sa atin or parang may effect sa atin, empathizing with other people, speaking up against injustice, advocate or help people in concrete ways even if it's outside our comfort zone. So these are some quotes, no, that I would leave you with. So it is too easy to walk on the other side of the road, but God wants to break my heart and your heart so that they are open and enlarged and soft enough to contain the wounded persons on the side of the road and the keeper of the inn and even the donkey and the robbers. So God's heart is so expansive. Gusto niya, He has the heart for the enemies, His creation, people who are apathetic, indifferent, and the wounded. No? So I pray na ako and even tayo would have this heart as well. And may God break my heart so completely that the whole world falls in. This is a quote by Mother Teresa. So yun. These are my sources. And thank you. If you have any questions, feel free. And mamaya ipopost ata yung reflection questions for group discussion as well. So thank you so much.